This week on Coffin Fodder, strap in for a spaceship ride to hell, because we are talking about Event Horizon.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
I like to dissect girls.
This is God.
We have such sights to show you.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I see dead red.
Even in hell. Oh, yes. Oh, no tears, please.
They're here.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Coffin Fodder. I am your host, Mike Warby, and I'm joined by a spooky spaceship captain named Kyle Nickelborough.
That's me.
And also an inventor, a man who built a mad machine
Oh no.
that bends time and space.
Oh, no.
And his name is Brady Silger.
Hello.
Yeah, that's yes. He'll doom us all.
You guys are fucked.
And this week we are talking the 1997 Paul W.S. Anderson movie. One of the two good movies I believe he ever made back to back.
Right.
Event Horizon.
Yeah, baby.
With the other one being the first Mortal Kombat movie.
That's right. That's what set him up to do this movie, hey? That's what gave him the shot. Yeah. Which is hard to believe because, I loved that movie when I was a kid, but it's not that good.
It's not very, it's not that good.
Commercially
Pretty
successful.
Yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson is sort of infamous as one of the worst filmmakers in motion picture history.
Which is crazy to me.
In mainstream cinema.
If you see, in mainstream cinema, certainly.
Yeah.
If you see any movie he made after this,
Yeah.
is fucking trash.
So after a quick pause and looking up what else this guy has done, I can't believe he made this movie. This is the Resident Evil guy and Monster Hunter and
I think he did
shitty
all
Milla
7
Jovovich
of those
movies.
shitty Resident Evil movies.
Jesus, how did
I
he
think
pull
he
off?
also helped with the more modern Return to Raccoon City Resident Evil.
I hope not, because
hope not.
keep this man away from Zach Kreger.
Holy
Oh,
man.
fuck.
Keep him away. Get him out of there.
Yeah.
Keep him away from Raccoon City. I don't
Well-
want him anywhere near.
I'm glad he pulled this one off.
Yeah, again, his first 2 movies, before he became just a Mia Jovovich slot machine,
Right.
just making one fucking bad movie with her after
Just
another.
keeping his wife employed.
Including, I think he also did that shitty Three Musketeers movie with Mia Jovovich. and-
Really?
I like that movie.
Cool.
I mean, even
Cool.
as a kid, I thought it fucking sucked.
Nifty.
Anyway.
Yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson. Anyway, legendarily bad filmmaker, Paul
Jesus.
W.S. Anderson.
Well,
in the Uwe Ball, I believe. is what
Uwe
he
Ball,
said.
yeah.
Well,
In the Uwe Ball camp.
Uwe Ball's actually done some pretty decent.
He's done some
films.
out there shit, so I guess if you're into out there shit, but no, I've never seen one that I enjoyed.
They're
Just absolute trash.
And it's worth mentioning when we talk about how bad this guy sucks that this movie was actually very, very not well received. It was shat upon, you would say.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. We were talking about this briefly before we started, and I mentioned also that Ravenous is one of those films.
Right.
And of course, I think we've touched on in the past that The Thing and The Shining
Right.
were both
Very much not liked.
Yeah, they were panned pretty hard when they came out.
And we've discussed, maybe not on air, but certainly behind the scenes, about movies that they're marketed to an audience that they are not made for.
Yes.
So this was very much set up, if you watch the trailers, it's very much set up as a space sci-fi movie, without the gritty, disgusting things that happen as it goes on. And so I could see how people were thinking they were going to get an Apollo 13 and got in there.
No,
you know what I mean?
I think the implication is
Yeah.
clear that it is a horror film.
Right.
But maybe you just don't see enough. I don't know. Anyway, Event Horizon holds up pretty well. I would
It
say.
holds up
in
great.
general. I haven't
because-
seen this since. I think the last time I watched this was probably more than 20 years ago.
Likewise, it would have been quite some time ago, but it's gained that cult following from horror fans over time, but mainstream audiences did not like this.
And that's what I was wondering, of course, as we came back to it. I'm does it hold up?
Me too.
Because it's been so long. This is a 1997
That's
movie.
a long time ago.
Very dodgy CG.
Especially in the 90s, especially late 90s, is known for some pretty shitty sci-fi stuff where it was on the cusp of the 2000s.
Yes.
Even it starts as in 2015, man built a moon station, and by
Be a lot cooler if we did, man.
And then so by 2047, we've developed the means of bending space-time. So it's, it's that 90s mentality.
Right. But I guess I should briefly mention what the fuck this movie is.
Let's do that. Can you tell we're excited? We're
just going off on this long series of diatribes. Yes. So Event Horizon is a film about. It's actually pretty similar to previous episode Sunshine.
Sure. Yeah.
A spaceship was sent into space with a specific. I think this was like an exploration ship. It was the first ship with that warp drive or whatever.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Sam Neill's character, Dr. Weir or whatever, developed this warp drive technology, and this was the first ship that had it or whatever, and it was sent out, disappeared into fucking thin air essentially.
Nobody had heard from it for 7 years. Yeah.
And now a new crew has been sent because there's a distress signal coming from this mysterious missing ship.
It reappeared around Neptune and sent out a distress signal, and they got this group of ragtag individuals to go out and see what the fuck happened.
Yeah. And chief among them are Dr. Weir, who's going because... he's supposed to be... I mean, he's going for two reasons, really. One, because he's the guy who knows the ship. On paper, that's the reason why he's going. But the real reason he wants to go is his wife was on that ship.
Yeah.
And that's where she disappeared, presumed dead, and he wants to know what happened to her.
Yeah.
Yes, and Lawrence Fishburne is captain of that ship. So those are the two key characters, and early on we're kind of getting the classic
introduction.
Yeah, here's your characters.
Yeah.
They're interacting here and there.
This is the crew.
So you can kind of get to know them before they're all horribly murdered.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta care about them a little bit before they get disemboweled and gutted and cut apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically the setup for the film. Is they're on their way to the Event Horizon. Not all that much happens on the way. I think there's about it's like 15, 20 minutes
some
of them kind of just kind of setting up the characters. You have your smack talking, jive talking black man, which is like they used to do that all the time.
This is where it's like you start wondering how 90s is this movie. It's that 90s.
Yes.
DJ Cooper, the rescue technician, with some, or it's not DJ but CJ, it doesn't matter. Cooper, the rescue tech, with his jive talk.
It's so funny.
He's such like the stereotypical 90s black man image.
And then there's just like the other black dude is just talks totally normal.
Yeah.
2 of the 3 surviving characters at the end are black dudes.
Yeah.
Which is almost you
never see that.
You're lucky to see 1, let alone 2.
No kidding.
Survive. So they're on their way to the Event Horizon. We get a little bit of jibber jabber between the characters.
Yep. A little bit of background.
Small amount of background, and then the first probably pivotal event. Well, actually, before we get to that, I wanted to note that this had. Did you guys watch Starship Troopers in the 90s?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
This is one of those. You know how they like in the 80s and 90s, a lot of sci-fi movies had this kind of like weird horny edge.
Oh yeah.
Like, and this is totally one of those movies.
Sexual tension.
They used the horny edge to bring people that weren't fucking nerds to. This has boobs and fucking horniness.
Yep.
Totally.
So all the
Recall is another great example of
sell the sex to get the audience.
Really horny. Yeah, this is a very horny. This has the weird Starship Troopers thing where they take co-ed showers. And there's a co-ed locker room and everything. And I'm like, that's so strange.
It has
it would be
bearing on anything.
And it would be so counterproductive to have every time anybody's doing anything intimate, they're all together in a room. It would just be the Lewis and Clark orgy is what it would turn into.
Yeah,
I don't think there would be nobody's getting any fucking work done from now on.
No.
Every time somebody goes into the bathroom, there's somebody else naked in there, and it's
over.
It's just sucking and fucking.
Yeah, sucking and fucking good time.
Yeah,
in hell.
Yes. But yeah, they get to the ship. Or within the vicinity of the ship.
Yeah.
And then that's when that energy wave comes out, right?
And it's the pulsing light from the drive.
They find the ship, they dock. As
then
all
he
good
gets...
people do.
Yeah, he sees the light, the bright, like the light come through, and he goes into the black goo.
Yep.
And then he gets spat out, and they find him, and
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of essentially the movie.
Yeah,
Where it's the like actual horror movie starts.
That's
where
the
things,
kickoff,
where things start to get dodgy for them.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Everything's kind of leading up just to get that moment. Yeah.
You're not really missing much from the beginning. It's just
they explore the ship. They find out the crew is not there.
Yeah.
They find no signs of life. They're also they find a body hanging that looks like it's all fucking
that's
and gutted. Right.
I'm glad you mentioned that,
all over
because
the place.
I thought the when they get the gravity drive turned on and all the debris falls and the body like shatters and everything. Yeah. I'm like, that was a really cool effect.
Pretty sweet.
That was really cool. Yeah.
Well, and even just like the way the body's all mangled, like you're getting into some Hellraiser shit.
You know,
like it's fucking.
You know what I thought of as soon as that body?
Sexual orgies.
No.
Oh.
Let the bodies at the. Let the bodies at the.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Because the body literally is.
Yeah.
So Justin, the young guy is going.
They call him Baby Bear.
Baby Bear.
The Peters is Mama Bear, and then I don't think anyone else has a call sign.
No, I think
they just refer to them as Lieutenant and Miller, Captain Miller.
Yeah, Cooper, Stark, Miller, Weir,
Yeah,
Dr. Weir.
I think Baby Bear and Peters are the only two that's like, because she's the mother to a child.
Well, that's notable because we get basically the implication of this film is that where the event horizon is hell, and that's
pretty quickly. That's
being implied. Which again, as we mentioned, Hellraiser in space last week.
Yeah,
that's essentially what this is. And it may have, I can't recall if it may have started as a spec script even.
I don't know. The other thing that I've seen it labeled as is Haunted House in Space, which also works pretty well.
The thing is, interestingly, I don't know if it was the same year or the following year, but Hellraiser 4, Hellraiser Bloodlines, takes place in space.
Yeah. Oh, does it?
So that's what makes me think that this was like maybe a spec script, and then maybe they didn't like where it went.
It's possible, yeah.
Or it could just be the classic,
or it just
where two movies get made at the same time that are almost the exact same.
Yeah, it's possible.
Clive Barker came out and said that he didn't do anything with this script. He loved it so much that he added it into the universe of the Hellbound.
Oh, so it is related.
It's related. Yeah. So there's like the script wasn't part of it, and he liked it so much that he just eventually said, "Yeah,
and I mean,
this is part of the Hellbound heart."
Right, as Clive Barker, how could you not? This is such a nod to the Hellraiser movies, like through and through. Yeah. That and it's such a good one as a horror fan that you have to adopt.
There's no Cenobites and there's no puzzle cube, but otherwise it's essentially a Hellraiser movie.
There is a one of the doors that it's towards the end of the movie without spoiling anything, but it's a blink and you miss it thing where the door is closing and it's
the handle thing?
Yeah.
I think I noticed that actually, now that you mention it.
Well,
the lament configuration, yeah.
And you it's a blink and you miss it because it's the same gold and black colors.
I missed it, I didn't catch that. Sweet.
I've also watched this movie too many times.
Yeah, me too. I love this movie. I haven't watched Hellraiser as much, so I don't know as much.
So yes, the ship has gone to hell and back, and we start to get this inclination because characters are starting to hallucinate.
Yeah, they start seeing their deepest fears.
And that's why I brought that up, is because Mama Bear
Peters,
yeah.
Her child's in the wheelchair.
Her child died of was it cancer? Or it's hard to
something, but
some sort of her child died tragically of some terrible disease, essentially, and that's what she's like the first person I think who's
she is the first one we see with her child.
Other than Justin, she's the first person that's not in a coma because Justin's in that little
but he didn't. I'm saying we didn't see what he saw.
No,
she's the first one that we see hallucinating.
Mm-hmm. And she sees her child in the
running
recovery
around the ship.
Yeah. No, she sees him in the recovery booth, and because she keeps hearing the banging on the glass, and she grabs the hacksaw and goes to investigate, and it's her kid with the kid's legs all mangled up.
But doesn't she also see him regularly throughout the movie running around the ship and stuff?
Yeah. Especially later on.
That's later on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Stuff. Yeah.
In any case, that is our first inclination that there's something really weird and spooky happening here. I mean, aside from like you said, was it Justin?
Justin, yeah.
Justin getting
Baby
that.
Bear. I think they more refer to him as Baby Bear.
Yeah, they mostly all, yeah.
Yeah. So something on the ship is showing these people their deepest fears. Their hidden
Miller
secrets.
Miller sees shortly after that. Miller sees
the
burning man rise out of that black liquid.
Yeah, an old comrade of his, and then it kind of goes through. Everybody sort of sees something, right? Or almost everybody. Some of them don't.
Some of them don't.
Like Cooper, who's kind of the throwaway guy. Unfortunately, I don't think we see a fear.
I don't think we see one for him either.
But
I don't think we see one for Stark either.
Which is interesting because Cooper is one of the surviving characters at the end, which is so it's weird that we didn't really get to know anything about him, and he's outside of the movie for large stretches.
Yeah, he's on the ship for.
It's almost like it's weird that that one of the biggest throwaway character in the movie survives.
Yeah, it becomes in some ways. Yeah, but we see Weir seeing his wife all over the place. Miller sees his burning comrade,
and
Stark we don't see, but we find out later that she was unconscious somewhere on the ship, right? So she's
importantly, when Weir sees his wife, the implication is that she committed suicide, and somehow he knows that. So it's like, how did he know that?
That's his fear. He doesn't know that. That's just his fear.
Okay, so that is
because she had trouble in the past or something.
We should break down the basic idea of what hell appears to be in this movie,
right?
Which is, it seems to be mainly forcing you to relive traumas, whether imagined or real.
Right. Weir much later in the film has the awesome line of, "Hell is only a word. The reality is much worse."
Yeah, there's some fucking great lines, which again fits it into the Hellraiser universe.
Yeah,
because god damn, that first Hellraiser movie.
Yep.
Oh,
it's good.
Just wall to wall legendary quotes. I could redo that opening.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I had Hellraiser like 3 times in that opening.
Yeah.
I could fucking just do an entire opening of Hellraiser quotes.
The other big line, and not to jump ahead, and I'm just going to say the line, but the other big line, which is such a throw to Hellraiser, is "Where we're going, we don't need eyes." Also said by Dr. Weir, who is he says furthest into madness.
And this is where I was going. This is where I wanted to mention. The connection that this movie has to Black Death that I noticed quickly is the main character switch off.
Right, because
we start with Sam Neill.
We follow Sam Neill, the biggest name in the film, arguably.
Like the movie starts with his nightmare, and then he wakes up. So at the beginning he's our POV character, but within by the time we're about half hour, maybe 45 minutes in, the movie has changed and it's Miller's movie now.
Which is sort of right after we start seeing everyone's fears. That's when it kind of shifts, and that's where we start to see that Weir's kind of losing his mind.
That's why they have to do the shift. It's just really interesting.
Yeah.
Also, Weir's nightmare, when you first see it, he's in the Event Horizon because that cross window. He's in that. So I'm wondering if because he built the Event Horizon, and his wife was on the Event Horizon, maybe that's why he doesn't know how she died, and that's why he's picturing things.
No, that's what I meant. What I meant was this seems to not have been the first time he's seen this memory or image or video or whatever of her committing suicide.
Yeah.
So she was on the ship and the ship disappeared, meaning he doesn't know what happened to her. But this seems to be not the first time he's had this nightmare.
Well, and that's where you wonder if maybe that's why he's the first to go, or the one that goes the deepest, is that he clearly has a dark mind anyway, and he's quite tortured by losing his wife.
Also, he's the one who created this technology, and he created the technology, and that caused the ship to disappear. And so he's carrying all this.
Right, he's got the biggest burden of guilt.
I wonder if being that he built the drive, if he already experienced a touch of hell.
Hard to say.
Maybe it's been already like in his subconscious, and he just doesn't know what's going on.
Well, and he would have the deepest connection to it, so you could go with that as well. He's got the most pull towards it. He wants to save the ship because he wants to save his drive.
Yeah. Well, and his wife. Obviously. I think the hope it would be that she's still alive, and if she's not, he just wants to recover her body and find out what happened to her and stuff, right? But we've gotten all these little snippets of all these little character moments that have sort of added layers to these characters now. And as you mentioned, Weir is kind of starting to lose his shit.
Yeah.
And this is where the movie kind of is becoming... Yeah, it kicks it up and starts to become the movie. It's interesting because... weird. Fuck that. It's weird this keeps happening. Because that's another parallel with Black Death.
What's that?
Basically, all the kills happen at the end.
Yeah.
Back to back to back to back to back.
And I wouldn't say it's a slow start to the movie. It's tense as hell up to this point. And so some of the cool things they did to keep that tension, that's where it's like, it's hard to believe this is the guy that did Resident Evil and the shitty Monster Hunter movie. Because he does such wonderful things with his filming to purposefully disorient the viewers. Either it's filming it from odd angles or lots of spinning shots, lots of rotating shots to make you feel disoriented.
And of course the gates.
At the gate is
the
spinning and the circle.
3 levels of rotating gears sort of thing.
So a lot of this movie is circular, which is kind of interesting and neat to me.
Cool fucking yeah.
Also the audio, I was watching with headphones on, and the audio is so creepy and loud, but you can still hear everyone talking, where there's movies where it's way too loud, you can barely hear them.
Well, and that was actually, I think that's by accident. Some of the criticisms of this movie were its sound, because it's actually quite bad. Famously, this movie was rushed during its editing process, and so some of that is just because they didn't have time to get it right.
I mean, it's the time period, but that one of the things anyone who decides to watch this movie, whether it's the first time or the 10th time, is this, like, early on when everything's still floating.
Yeah. Oh, that's CG.
It's the dodgiest. It's some of the dodgiest CG you've ever seen.
It didn't ruin my experience of watching it though.
No,
it's only a couple.
It just looks like
couple frames.
It looks like it's like you're playing. Speaking of Resident Evil, it's like literally. Like 90s fucking Resident Evil graphics.
Right, like it's bad. But, you know, for a 97 movie, maybe that was about as much as they could come up with.
Well, that's the thing, is like, in a video game, it's more forgivable because the entire world is digital.
Right, you can't tell.
But
it's jarring.
When you've got floating CG and everything else is real, dodgy CG is really noticeable.
Well, and since we're off topic from the story for a second, since they built... Like a lot of this is built sets, right? Like the spherical chamber where the gateway's housed, that's a real set they built.
Fucking rules.
Which is so fucking cool. The set pieces on this are so fucking metal. All these jagged, even the doors have jagged spikes and teeth-like things coming out of them. So they built all these great sets, but there's a few scenes in that gateway chamber where they've replaced the set with a CG set for parts of the filming.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys, why?
It's too dodgy.
Why?
Like nowadays, maybe you could, I mean,
you could make it look...
Even 10 years ago.
Yeah, you could make it look where it would be seamless, but back
close
then...
enough. Like somebody who's like pausing and stopping and stuff could probably catch
your magnifying lens and that shit,
But your average person watching with...
It's seamless enough.
Yeah.
But
this is
97.
This is like 5 years after this started. Like, I think Terminator 2 is the first big CG movie, and then next year it was Jurassic Park. And those are like the first... I think those are like the first big CG movies.
Yeah, and we're
with like really fucking good
budgets,
really good CG. That convinced people that CG can actually.
Speaking of Sam Neill, he was in Jurassic Park.
Oh hell yeah, he was.
Yes, sir.
You know what I think of that, Brady? Clever girl.
Sam Neill rocks.
He's so good at being. Even in Jurassic Park, where he's the hero, he has this dark edge to him.
He feels like he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's always got this dark edge to him.
Yep.
I think that's why he's
he's perfect.
Have you guys seen it in the Mouth of Madness?
I have.
I have.
Possession, an episode I mentioned, or a film I mentioned when we were talking about Antichrist.
Yeah.
Possession, definitely a movie we'll be doing in the future.
Nice.
It's also on my list.
I love
that's
that.
Possession fucking rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not his first time as a horror villain. Yeah. And I mean, maybe his last. He's getting pretty old, but fucking.
It's too bad.
He's grown up Damien in The Omen 3 also.
Yes. Yep. That's correct. He's got a lot of.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's him. He's grown up Damien in The Omen 3.
Oh wow.
He's pretty well established. I wish he was used more though.
He's got that cred, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and he's dripping with the darkness
especially in this one. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
we'll get there, but towards
that turn. Well, that turn's already happening. Like, you can already see him.
He's going, yeah.
And that's why actually Miller orders him to get back to the basic idea of what's going on in this movie. That's why Miller
wants him off.
Forces him to stay on the Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
He's the ships are connected by they're docked, as Brady said, but he's saying Weir, Samuel's character, is very adamant about going on the ship.
He needs to be on, in his opinion,
because for the reasons we've already established, both key reasons, but Miller's already noticing that his judgment is slipping, that he's becoming.
And they're all discussing. Sorry to interrupt, but they're all discussing what they've seen, and they've all seen it, and they've established. Miller says at one point, "Doctor, this wasn't an hallucination. I felt the heat from the flames. This was real. There's something going on in that ship." And he's just like, "No, you guys, nah, you fucking."
That is why. Yeah, that is like the point where the characters, and I'm glad they did it early on.
Mm-hmm. Because that's a big part of the shift.
Well, yeah, because like a lot of movies will hold that off.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hold off on that. Oh wait,
they played it for too long.
You're experiencing it too. What we're both. It's happening to everybody.
Yeah. And
it's like, no, we need to get this out of the way.
Yeah, it's pivotal to setting up the movie, and they don't waste the time, or they don't waste a lot of time getting there.
It's like 5 or 10 minutes of everybody's visions,
yes.
Maybe 15 at most.
Yeah.
And then they all kind of start.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They don't keep it secret for that long.
And then they shift into, okay, we got to get the fuck out of here, because now they've realized there's something not cool happening. Yeah. Even Miller, the staunch guy, is like, no, something's going on here.
Well, because he mentions it's key that you said that, because he's like, I never told anyone about that.
Right, the ship knows things that he's never mentioned.
He's like, I've never told anyone the story of what happened to the guy he had to leave behind.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Miller
his
had his own
crew.
Had another crew, and his whole bias was, or her whole thing was, I'm not letting a person on my new crew die.
Yeah.
Because
because he watched.
He's so traumatized by the deaths of his previous crew, particularly the man he had to leave behind right at the end, who burst into flames.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of trauma and guilt in this movie too, and I didn't think hard enough to figure out how that maybe factors into some of the order of events, but
I think it's just meant to be if you're going to do this kind of interpretation of hell, everybody needs to kind of have a skeleton in the closet.
Yeah, and I think that's really all it is. It's just part of how they wanted to do the movie.
Except for the comic relief character.
Except for Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's
got a few scenes in this movie that I thought
I questioned like a character from a different movie.
Yes, so there's some dialogue.
He's like Fresh Prince in space.
Yeah, he gets sent out to the Lewis and Clark was damaged when the gateway opened by the surge. So eventually him, the pilot Smith, and Cooper get sent over to fix the Lewis and Clark, and craziness ensues, and I don't know how far we want to skip, but Dr. Weir eventually takes the C4 over to blow up the Clark, right? And Cooper's launched into space. That scene where he's launched into space and talking to himself.
My God.
I'm like, what fucking movie is this?
It was a Looney Tunes-esque moment where he's like, oh, I
gotta flip around. Oh man, I hope this works. Here I go.
And he gets back and he's, I'm back!
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably... We were talking about on before we were recording. We had spoken about this movie has a very, very low rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 37%.
Yeah,
well, I think we already mentioned it in the episode even too. Did we mention it?
But it's it was panned by critics and viewers, so it's got an extremely low Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, and I think probably part of why you guys mentioned the rushed editing, but yeah, just tonally. That's a character you got to get. You either got to get him out of this movie altogether,
right?
Or B, you got to reconfigure his character,
right? And it's funny because most horror movies, he would be the token black guy that dies first because he's the loud talking guy, right? But not in this one. They kept him around, and he's fine as an actor. His character I can get past. It's just they give him such cheesy lines and such shit scenes.
Yeah, it's just he feels like, as I said, Fresh Prince of Space. He feels like Will Smith's character from Independence Day. It's kind of just dropped into this movie.
Yeah, it's ham-fisted comic relief,
and everybody else is in like a different movie.
Yeah, it's the most tense, deepest, darkest movie.
Everybody's disturbed and horrified, and everything's terrible, and oh my god, the sinister dread. Yeah. And Bro gets blasted into the fucking annals of space. Yeah. Potentially, like, should
be dead.
Yeah, he's like he's got a very small chance of surviving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit. Yeah. And they're like, no, dude.
Yes.
No. Exactly. You're in the most dire, horrific fucking things were bad enough. Now you've been blasted into outer space with a dwindling oxygen supply that you have to burn off in hopes of getting back to the ship.
It was some of those scenes where I started thinking, is this movie as good as I remember? Thankfully, it continues on a much better path from those sorts of scenes, but yeah.
I might be overthinking this, but maybe because Cooper's outside the ship more often than not, he's not affected by it.
That's a really interesting point.
So I think that's
he's probably as happy-go-lucky, and everyone else is seeing exponential dread and
it's
chaos.
So weird to imagine being in such a dire situation and being all jokey about it.
Yeah.
Like you're like, it's like you're dying in the fucking woods from a bear attack, and you're like, oh no, not again, man, or whatever.
It's so. I should stay home today.
It's exactly like that's what he feels. It feels like he's just having a bad day at work or something.
It borders on offensively stereotypical.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. Maybe that's the Paul S. Anderson part, and then Clive Baker has had a bunch other to do with the movie.
You know what it reminded me of? Pretty bad movie in its own right. Crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that one scene in Crash, Crash is a movie, I don't think it deserved the Best Picture.
No.
And I think it's a pretty mediocre movie overall. But that scene, there's a couple of good scenes in that movie, and one of them is when, who's the guy from Hustle and Flow? Terrence Howard.
Oh.
Terrence Howard. So the actor Terrence Howard is playing an actor in the movie.
Right.
And Tony Danza is playing like the director of the movie. And he says... he's telling him to redo the scene but make it blacker.
Right, yeah.
And that's what this movie feels like. It's like a reference. It's like
be as black as you can be.
Yeah. He's like because he's playing the role in Crash.
I get it. Yeah,
and he's talking normally.
Right,
and he's like, I need you to make it blacker.
And that's what this is.
And
this is
what
a
this
white
feels.
man's version. This is an early white man's version of what a black character should be. So things have gone awry.
Yes.
Everybody's losing their marbles and they're trying to vacate. That's sort of where we jumped out of things.
I would say probably the next thing we have to jump to is Justin when he wakes up.
Yeah, because there's a lot of beats, and we don't have to cover all of them, but Justin waking up kicks off.
And a lot of it is just people having those recurring visions and shit.
It's just things being spooky. But yeah, Justin waking up again and going to
in like airlock. A weird trance.
Yeah. He has what you would say the hell aspect is in him that I guess we're we'll see later on.
It's like he's been possessed. Essentially.
And
because he's not acting like himself.
Yeah, he's suicidal.
And when he snaps out of it, he goes back to himself, and it's like it's like two different characters.
So I wondered. I did. So he takes himself to an airlock, right? Because he wants to launch himself out.
Yeah.
And while he's in there having his breakdown, he says, "If you had seen the things I'd seen, you wouldn't want to live either." But when he flips back, I often wondered if that was just the ship fucking with I forget her name, but it's the mama.
Peters or whatever?
Peters, yes. Peters, the mama. And just making him seem like he's deeply distressed about this. It's hard to say. It could be that he reverted back and was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Or it could be that it's just purposely trying to draw out
He does say Mama Bear, like, get me out of here. He doesn't even say Captain Miller. He just says Mama Bear.
Which would be the most damaging thing to say.
Whether it's meant to be from her perspective, or whether it's meant to be literally happening, it serves the same purpose.
Yes,
it makes the scene as dark and
gut wrenching
as it can possibly be. And it's fucked up. And then Miller has been made aware of the situation, and he's frantically trying to get to the point. Because the airlock can't be disengaged.
Justin!
Yeah.
Yeah, and as it's depressurizing. Yeah,
Justin!
As it's depressurizing and he's fucking gripping his eyes because they're starting to bleed out.
Miller tells him, close your eyes, crawl into a
because
ball.
they'll fucking pop out of your skull, man.
Also, Miller's on the outside of the ship with Cooper trying to repair the hull of the Clark.
Yep.
And that's why he's frantically trying to get back and to try to, because he can catch him before the airlock completely opens.
You know what's crazy, man? 2 years later is The Matrix.
Yeah.
And The Matrix has Lawrence Fishburne and
Yes.
Keanu Reeves doing the catch.
Yep.
The catch, arms around each other's scene.
Yeah.
And
it's the same. It's very similar.
Very similar to him catching Justin after Justin comes out of the airlock.
Yeah, very. It's pretty sweet. I love this part when his veins are all pulsing and you can see that they put some thought into what it would be like if your body started entering that low.
Started depressurizing.
If you listen to
you need that to keep yourself together.
If you listen to astronauts, like your eye, if you're out in space too long, your
pressure.
eyes will like start popping out. Your veins will. Also, the eye thing is also detriment to the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of missing eyes in this.
Yeah,
the science of this movie seems to be pretty well thought out.
I would say so. They
especially by 1997.
Yeah, they put some effort into it to make at least a little sense.
And even the warp drive and the black hole and all that stuff. I'm like, Brady, you'd probably know more about how much of this makes sense. But I'm like, mostly it sounds like it's scientifically sound.
It's scientifically sound
as far as
for where the fringe theories were about black
I was gonna
holes.
say what you would say of theoretically at least.
Yeah.
Because nobody could possibly know for sure until something like this is invented.
Yeah.
But theoretically,
I'd say they took a lot of inspiration from a couple different things, like some of the Stargate books. Because I don't think the movie for Stargate came out yet.
It was 93.
It was 93? Okay, so Stargate was already a thing.
With Kurt Russell, yeah.
And then also, like, the Hellraiser franchise dives into a little bit of, like, interdimensional travel.
Yeah.
But in a different sense than it's not in space, but it's still interdimensional travel. You go into the cube and then you meet the Symbiotes. So it's like, I don't know who was the coordinator on this with everything, but they did a good job keeping you entertained.
I wouldn't know for sure. Like, I've read a bit about astrophysics and stuff, like, but I'm no expert. I read Neil deGrasse Tyson's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
This is grounded on the fringe ideas of what people thought black holes may or may not be capable of
back
at that time. Yeah.
Anyway, it feels pretty. I never felt like that's horseshit,
right?
Essentially, to get to the point.
Well, and wisely they skirt it so that it doesn't get too deep into the mechanics. They put a couple pieces together and then they leave it alone, which is smart.
They give the audience enough to understand, but they don't sit you down for 20 fucking minutes to explain.
Exactly.
They do a really good explanation. Weir takes the photo and he sticks the pencil through it. Like, he folds it up and sticks it and goes, this is how a wormhole works. And then you unfold it and then you're 2 different points.
It's such a perfect... And you know what it reminded me of? Exactly, was Mass Effect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
For those who are unfamiliar,
giant nerds.
Mass Effect is a video game series where they have these things called Mass Effect relays, and that's how they work. They essentially are these gates that bend space-time and allow you to come... Yeah, anyway.
They talked about it earlier in the film, but it's a way of circumventing the laws of trying to get to faster than light travel.
Because essentially, if you had to travel those distances, even at light years... You're going to be...
thousands of years.
It's going to be a long, long fucking time.
Which the math on that is accurate, because like light travels at a certain speed. Like when you look at Star Trek or Star Wars, when they go to hyperdrive and the light particles are going down, that's not how it actually works. You'd be stuck in one stasis, you'd be in one point in time frozen, and then by the time you get there, it's already gone.
Yeah.
And not to add 5 more tangents to the tangents, but my god.
To get to the fucking point.
Yes!
So Weir's, another one of Weir's great lines is that this ship has traveled somewhere and they don't know where, but it's traveled to a realm of pure chaos. And, to get to the meaty bits, at one point, I believe it's Peters and Stark find some footage of the original crew on this ship after they had gone. and back, and this
And
is where we
one of
get
them is
those.
holding their eyes.
This is where we get that real heavy Hellraiser shit. Earlier in the film, what's the doctor's? It's Doctor the DJ
Smith.
Jason Isaacs character.
That's not Smith.
I think it's DJ.
The one that
DJ,
speaks,
you're correct.
He's the one that speaks Latin.
Yes. So they had found the distress signal and translated "liberate me" as surprise. "Liberate me" means save me.
As in, save me from hell,
But and later he finds out that there was more, and he had kept digging, and it was "liberate tutume ex inferis," which is "save me from hell." Yeah, this is one of my favorite
I was gonna
movies.
say, did you rewatch this?
So he's
Anyway,
and
sorry.
so they find this footage of the original crew. And this is straight Hellraiser shit. These guys they're fucking and sucking and pulling guts out of each other's mouths and pulling
there's a
their
fist
eyes
that
out.
goes out like into
There's
the
a
mouth.
fist that goes in the mouth to pull out
Yeah.
innards. Oh my god, it's so cool. So this is to me is one of the. There's another flashing scene where it shows more of the hell stuff.
This is what I meant. Like
Yeah.
when we were talking about like being young
Yeah.
and watching. Again, I think we mentioned this at the end of the last episode. But this was one of those seminal horror films for me.
That's a big fucking deal when you're like 10, 12, 13, you know?
I'd never seen anything. I
like
hadn't
that.
seen Hellraiser yet.
No,
I didn't see Hellraiser until I was like 17
I'm
or
not
something.
going to tell you how old I was in 97, but this was an early enough movie where seeing imagery like this, I still think it's fucking rad and gnarly and some of the coolest shit I've seen.
It holds up.
It does.
It
And
holds
so
up pretty
back
well.
then-
Almost 30 years later.
Yeah, it holds up great. It's fucking gnarly.
The sexualized body horror that
Mhm.
like, Hellraiser in this movie did
Fuck yeah.
made like
Yeah, it's
movies go from
It's
just
like zero to hero, man.
stabby
Yeah.
to like actually having
Some
gore.
serious shit.
I think that's so interesting, the sexual element, because I think it kind of gets under everybody's skin. When
primal, right?
when a movie does it and does it well,
Yeah.
because we're all like from like the age you starting to go through puberty, even when you're younger and you're liking girls.
Mm-hmm.
But particularly as you're going through puberty and you're starting to have those sort of feelings, and you don't know what's right and you don't know what's wrong yet. Yeah. But I mean, so everybody can relate to feeling a sexual awakening and then not sure what it's supposed to be. It's a journey that we go through throughout life. But I think you're never. No, it's what I'm saying, I guess, is that it's a sexuality in general is something we're all a little bit anxious about.
Yes.
And it's a little tense.
Sure. And it feeds those notions of fear and anxiety.
When a horror movie taps into that
smartly,
it makes it, and if it works, it fucking really gets under your skin.
And I think
because we all have those, what's normal, what's not normal.
Yeah.
Am I okay? Am I weird?
Right. The anxiety. And the
fear.
The other thing I think I love about this is that, calling it a realm of pure chaos, and it's all it is if realm of order is where we live now, where humanity has constructed order to separate itself from from our animal heritage, and a realm of pure chaos takes that out of the equation, and we're reverted back to our animal tendencies, and that's what we see is violence and sex and the intermingling of those two wonderful things.
Yeah, I was gonna say Weir is essentially the Willy Wonka of hell.
Yeah, I'd take it. Yeah,
a wild
and everybody gets a
chaos
with me, and everyone gets a golden ticket whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
He essentially does say that to Miller. Your crew is mine now.
Yeah, it's found a new crew.
Yeah.
And at the end of that footage, that's where we see the original captain, and that's where we see where that distress signal, the Latin comes out, and he's presenting his eyes while he's saying that line. Oh my god!
So they went through all the way through hell, and that's what you see in the footage.
Yeah.
I always wondered if the main crew that we follow, if they went through hell, if they would do the same.
So smartly, they included that. There's a flash at some point in this movie. I can't remember exactly where it happens, but it does. It's a very quick in and out, and it's very bright, so you don't see much, and it moves quite quickly. But it's the crew that we see now, and they're all mangled and tied up and in hell. So you see like Justin all splayed open. And I think Stark's got barbed wire across her face.
Well, and that's interesting because from this point on, it's body after body busting out of shit.
It's just dead bodies.
This is like every death happens in the movie here.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, one after another.
Exactly. They drop like flies. Bang, bang, bang.
Is Piers the second main death of the crew?
She's
chasing her child.
So she chases her child and has a flash of herself.
And then her child tricks her into falling.
Yeah,
she
down
sees
the
a
pit.
flash of that scene of her lying on that shit in the water, smashed up and bleeding, right before she does it, and I love that because it's just playing.
Which is because we were talking about the space time and all these different hell dimensions and all this shit. It's playing with this aspect of like it's like that Dr. Manhattan shit in Watchmen.
Yeah, these things are happening simultaneously,
like,
at the same time.
Are you about to die, or did you already die?
You already died,
and you're about to experience that feeling of it, the thing that already happened.
Well, and because it shows all the crew in that hell situation, you have to wonder if that's really where they are. They're already in their hell place, and this is just. They play
with that at the end.
Yeah.
And I think there's an alternate ending to this movie.
There was a lot of scenes that were removed and have been lost in the annals of time that they can't recover, but apparently
because the film grade, by the time they were going to do the director's cut, the film grade had aged.
It's gone
too much that they couldn't recover it.
But like Jason Isaacs at one point, who plays DJ, had said that some of the footage from those hell scenes of the crew was some of the worst, goriest, most disgusting shit that was ever filmed.
No,
exactly, and we'll never get to see. And those are the best parts of this movie, man.
And they're so fleeting. I just want more.
I want more.
They leave you on the edge. You want to see more. And just
quit edging me, baby. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to further that, I mean, because we don't, there's a lot of things that happen, but the story it's sweet. But so Dr. Weir's descent, and when they start to find him,
that change that he, how you see him descending, and then he's like, uh-oh, and then he just comes back and he's like
back up, and he's all. His face is fucking torn off.
He took that rapid claw from the first scene of Jurassic Park and slashed his face up.
And so they find him sitting in the captain's chair or whatever of the Event Horizon, and that's where he delivers that, where we're going, we don't need eyes, because he's gouged his fucking eyes out, right?
Fucking brutal, man.
I love that shit.
His transformation from the beginning, you can tell what he is in the beginning a little bit.
There's a dark edge to him, as we mentioned.
Yeah, and it comes out, right? He transforms into what was inside.
He can't, maybe because he built the drive, maybe he has more of a tie, like we said.
Yeah, that he's more tied to it.
Well,
but I also wondered if his trauma led him to be more influenced by that.
Yeah, I think he was also the second person after Justin to look at the lights from the thing, but he didn't go into the goo like Justin did.
Yeah.
So maybe that whatever Justin came out of when he lost it, he went into him.
It's kind of implied that as he was looking at that, because you see the reflection of the gateway in his eyes, that he was probably seeing into some of that.
Perhaps his first name is Kelly, and then it could go from Justin to Kelly.
Fuck off.
Sorry. I have to.
Yeah, it quickly rifles towards the end.
Yeah, this is as we said. It's death.
Yeah, and at one point, one of those deaths is Dr. Weir.
Justin obviously is Justin the one who gets.
It's DJ, the trauma doctor, who gets vivisected. You were saying,
yeah, vivisected.
The first thing I thought of was the is it the blood eagle, the Viking killing ritual where they're splayed up and hung up. Yeah, which is one of the fucking cooler deaths in this film.
Fucking brutal. That one's brutal.
It's a good one. And then Dr. Weir dies, or we seem to think, but he appears back naked and fucking covered in cuts and
runes.
scars.
Yeah, these runes and shit.
That reminded me of the Sunshine.
Yes.
Like
I was having Sunshine flashbacks throughout.
Yeah,
because he's bald. Mm-hmm. He's got all the scars all over his body,
and the shooting of those scenes where it zooms in on his eyes smartly, because Sam Neill's got those beautiful piercing blue eyes and he's fucked up and his eyebrows are gone.
Kiss him.
Yeah, I would too. I fucking would.
I'll fucking do it again.
I wonder if that if Sunshine had if Event Horizon had a basis behind Sunshine, because it's in space. I can see things behind it.
I would think that probably Danny Boyle saw this movie and released.
It's probable. Yep.
Because I can see things from Alien, I can see things from
There's
Hellraiser, I
aspects,
can
like-
see things from everything else. And then Sunshine also came out later on, and it's like... you
10
can see
years
things-
later,
yeah.
interestingly enough. What I was going to say is there are, like, we've talked about a few of the sort of hammy aspects of this film, but it's mostly very effective.
It is mostly extremely effective. The imagery, the makeup, the things they do to induce that sense of hell in you as a viewer, I guess, is so effective.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the way it's shot. I love the effects they do. I love the topics they touch on. I think it's super.
Just this, trauma is hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Recurring trauma.
Well, and it
experiencing the most horrible things you can imagine,
It
or the most horrible things that have already happened to you.
Right, and I think part of what makes it work so well is that it removes the religion from the concept of hell and grounds it in, even if it's pseudoscience.
It's like Doom. Yeah, it's like Doom.
Yeah, it grounds it in.
Yeah, I was thinking
science.
that as I was watching it too. It felt like
Because
the
it's
original.
obviously
Doom.
the space aspect.
When
Yeah.
we talked about that, it's heavy Doom vibes towards some of these.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess
We're more or less.
we're basically at the end.
Yeah.
A few of the characters have bit the dust. We've got who's the girl who's still around?
Stark. We should
Yes.
mention that Justin, as he was saved, was put into stasis, or as they call it, stasis.
Yes.
So he's
Stasis.
technically alive. He's technically a survivor.
So yeah, but still, for a horror film, I think there's only 8 or 9 characters, and 3 survive.
Yeah, 9, 8 crew and Dr. Weir. So and only 3 survive. Yeah,
It's
Or three-
it's just
so I should
crazy.
say and 3 survive. 'Cause
Yeah.
usually you've got final.
You
final
get
girl,
1 or
final
2.
guy. Yeah.
Usually, it's either the final person,
Mhm. Or
and
the
they're the
final-
only one, or it's
the final love interest.
or it's the person and their love interest.
Yeah.
Usually, that's the situation we're in.
I love that they took the 3 characters that have no real thing in the movie and they made them the final.
Yeah.
The final,
Which-
like Cooper, Stark, and Justin. Justin's only in the movie for what?
Which consider
10,
that
15 minutes?
that we don't see Stark's backstory of trauma that the ship shows us. We don't see Cooper's backstory of trauma that the ship shows us, and we don't see Justin's backstory.
It's so
of trauma.
hard for them
Right?
to be the ones to survive
Because
so it's
they
like,
have the least trauma coming into it, so they're the least affected people by this concept.
That's so
It has
interesting.
the least control.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so
Yeah.
interesting because nobody touches on that at all.
No,
but
it's because it's playing on their fear and their paranoia.
and they
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
lacking
But
in
they
those
had the
things.
least of the crews. Yeah,
Did
everyone
Did you
else.
say that Stark has a fear that they kind of
I
go on with
I
her
don't
passing
think
out?
so. No, we just while everyone else is experiencing their fear, we find.
Oh,
that she
she's
was
passed out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you
DJ
said.
the trauma doctor obviously has
These
trauma.
Yeah.
These are all 3 of the characters who all get dropped out of the movie for extended
Yes.
periods of time.
Yep.
So weird to
Justin's in
have them survive.
stasis for so long
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't, like...
and passed out for most of it.
Usually the characters who survive are the characters who have gone through the worst.
Yeah.
And that's sort of their triumphant
Mm-hmm.
thing that they survived all this horror.
Yeah.
And these are just like the characters who are kind of on the periphery. It's very
Right,
strange.
and then furthermore, if you consider the protagonist, which we would say is probably Miller, right,
Yeah.
and the antagonist, which becomes Weir,
Yeah.
you're shown the opposition of Weir giving into his trauma and his darkness and literally becoming this embodiment of the ship's hell, and Miller sacrificing himself
To save the
his
surviving crew members.
is
Yeah.
conquering his past trauma of losing a crew member, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of, he maintains that hero arc of not giving in to his past
And
trauma.
he has his big hero moment where he pulls Stark through the closing doors when she's injured.
Yeah.
And then that's before him and Weir confront each other as
Yes.
we're coming to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And he blows the C4
Yeah.
with Weir.
And separates the two ships, the two parts of the ship.
Yeah.
The
They go
gateways
on
are-
earlier because they're walking through the first part of the Event Horizon. They see a bunch of C4, and
Mhm.
Miller asks Weir, "What's that for?" He goes, "Oh, if something happens, we have lifeboats on one side, and we can get rid of the drive."
Drop the drive and use the front as a
Yeah.
raft, a life raft, essentially.
And Weir ends up using one of the C4s to destroy the Clark.
Yes.
And so then Miller gets the idea. Let's blow everything and just get
Separate them and
Get out of
ditch
this
the drive.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Miller sacrifices himself, and
Yeah. That's why I said there's a...
Miller also says when he's explaining to is it DJ or Smith?
Which one?
He, like the guy that speaks Latin, he's telling him
That's
like
Smith,
that's
DJ.
That's DJ.
Yeah.
He's like, I watched my captain, my first mate, I think he says, die, and then he's explaining how flames and zero gravity work, and it's like a river, like the waves go over you.
Wave after wave.
And it just kept burning and burning.
Yeah.
You kind of see that when the zero gravity comes off at the end when he's fighting...
Weir
Yeah.
and Miller fighting.
Yeah.
There's cool science shit in this movie.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Like, well thought out. Because a lot of space shit, especially during this time period,
Especially during this time.
very dodgy.
Very dodgy, because people weren't as in tune
They're
with
kind of
that
just
shit.
like...
We didn't have Neil deGrasse out there.
Yeah, they're kind of, it's often one of those things where people are kind of just like, what if this, what if that?
Right,
but
where
this
they-
movie is grounded in a sense of scientific reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would imagine, speaking of Neil deGrasse Tyson, I would imagine he might be the kind of person, because he does those videos.
He does. He's probably touched on this movie several times, I can only imagine, because he's talked about Interstellar a lot as well, being one of the best movies for being well-grounded in its space talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. That brings us to the end. The end is actually, I mean, you know, they do the
That's
it really over?
It's the worst part of the movie, by far.
I would actually have just dropped that, and the movie would have been pretty dope. Just knowing they survived, and...
They were going to do, as I think, did we already mention the director's cut idea?
No.
Okay.
They were going to.
Yeah, they were going to, because we talked about the
end.
decaying film.
Mm-hmm.
So that because this movie became one of those, like, it was a box office bomb.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies that became a hit on home video.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, because it sold so well on home video and because it was rented so much, they were going to do one of those director's cuts for it. But yeah, the film had degraded too much.
Yeah. It took a long time for it to find its purchase.
Yeah. Which happens a lot with horror in general.
Horror.
Yes.
Like, there's movies like Shawshank and other stuff where they kind of found their audience on the home video market or whatever.
Right.
But horror in general,
that
seems to happen a lot.
I was going to say, I think with a lot of horror, it's more talk about stuff. Like, you hear people
word of mouth,
talk about it.
That's probably how.
And that's how.
I would say that's how me and Kyle probably found this movie. Is people
honestly, I think I found this movie because it was playing. Like, I didn't watch it in '97. I think it was playing on TV at some point when I first watched it. Yeah.
Me and my friends rented it because it was like supposed to be this fucked up movie.
Oh, okay. See, I hadn't heard of it. Even as a kid, I didn't. I was a farm kid. I didn't hear a lot.
And it was an R-rated movie, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, as a kid. Like, when I was, like, I think I would have been 12.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way you could get one of these movies, you go to the video stores where no one gives a shit, which is most video stores.
Most video stores, they give it to you. Yeah.
It would just be like, you can rent whatever. Some of them, like Blockbuster, wouldn't let you rent R-rated movies a lot of the time. But you go to that's why you have to go to the mom and pop stores.
Yeah, go to the convenience
where they just
store.
want that sweet money.
Yeah,
they don't give a fuck what you're
Give me
watching.
them dollars.
Yeah.
I had this movie just in my basement as a child.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And because my mom didn't care what I watched because I filtered myself, and I loved horror movies, so I grabbed it.
Yeah, they're like 8 years old. Here's Schindler's List.
Yeah,
that's totally great.
Yeah,
everything is going to be fine.
Yeah. So, shall we? Let's do final thoughts.
I guess we might as well get to final thoughts. Kyle, this is your movie.
It's my pick, but again, I feel like I've shared so much.
Do you have anything you want to add?
I don't think I have much to add. This is, as I mentioned last week, this is probably, and if I don't think too hard, I place this as my number 2. This is one of my favorite fucking horror movies of all time.
Well, and it sounds like it is very much your... Well, I mean, we talked about this already, but it's like one of your touchstones.
Yeah, this is a
touchstone of horror.
This is a formative moment for my continued delving into horror as a child. This drew me further into the ideas of like the Hellraiser universe, the hell as being represented as a physical thing. Yeah.
Well, and what it activated in you.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's what pulls people who become like really into horror.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this feeling that this activated?
That is exactly it. That was this movie for me.
Yeah.
I loved it so fucking much.
And we all have those movies where you felt like this weird feeling inside of yourself, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
This was my sexual awakening. Yeah.
It's just, it's wild.
I can see a lot of your picks based off of this movie.
Right? A lot of my
Like-
picks have been sci-fi, horror, spacey
Yeah.
films, and it's because of this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I've spent my life chasing the high this movie gave me as a young teen. I've been chasing the dragon ever since. Yeah, this is a big one for me, guys. Yeah.
Brady, Science Man, what do we got? Anything?
Love this movie. I can't give movies I like a funny
That's how I
rating.
feel, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I grew up watching this movie, being a huge Hellraiser fan to this day. This movie is ingrained in my brain, especially all the grotesque, nonsensical. Like, the acting sometimes is a little subpar.
Some people's, yeah.
It's basically just that one character. It's just so dodgy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing with this
Yeah.
guy? And nobody seems to know.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's, like I said, it feels like he's in a different movie.
Absolutely.
Even watching, like, I grew up with Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne.
Me too.
Watching them in these roles,
Yeah.
like rewatching it, you can tell who they are, but they're totally different people.
Different people, yeah.
Like-
And I'm glad that I watched this and it held up to the image I had in my head of how great it was. I would have hated had I watched this and been like, you know what, that movie wasn't that good.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's been so many years. And it works.
It does.
Really still works. Despite the dodgy CG and despite the fact that there are aspects that seem sort of cobbled together, I still ended up giving this I gave it 4 out of 5. I cut two half-star points. One
was
for
just
that
for
character. One was just for that character.
Yeah.
And the other one was for the shit ending.
For sure. Yeah, for
Which
sure.
is just like, oh my god, we did escape.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
Actually,
okay, roll credits.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what did that do to any? What did that do for anyone?
The other thing I'd say is, you know,
The rug pull is
it's so useless.
yeah, like, but if you're gonna you don't do the rug pull and then undo the rug pull and then just roll credits.
Right.
What does that do?
Well, it's
Nothing.
nothing. They had to give it a happier ending. Was it too dark? And
They
like,
explain when they're first going to stasis.
Stasis. Excuse me.
Stasis.
A stasis field.
They're saying to
Gal Gadot.
they're saying
You have to activate the stasis.
Hello!
Sorry.
The stasis!
Yeah, sorry, go on.
They're explaining to Weir that when you come out of stasis, you might see visions, you might be disoriented, you might be addicted to caffeine.
Right.
In which they show them drinking caffeine, and some people are kind of holding on to things.
Maybe I've come out of stasis.
That's a real pain in the stasis.
The other thing I'd say too before we wrap up too quick at the end of this tangent city is show me another movie that has given this combination of things. Show me another space hell movie that hits these notes.
I would say probably the closest would be Sunshine.
Yeah.
Which
which isn't even close.
Not a hell movie.
No.
But in terms of like being like a space movie,
Right.
that's incredibly disturbing.
Right, and that's where I say like I've chased trying to scratch this itch and I don't know off the top of my head. Hopefully all our international and domestic viewers can correct me. I don't know another
Hopefully
movie.
some Interstellar, some galactic.
I love
listeners.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully there's some space aliens.
And if you pronounce stasis, stop watching the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me another Event Horizon, please. I want it.
Indeed. I would. It would be nice to have another movie like this. Yeah, it is a very unique and interesting film, but now we've got to balance it to our friend Mr. Brady Silger, our science boy. Science boy, what are we watching next week?
We're mopping up the theaters with the Toxic Avenger.
Hey, that kind of works because we were talking Game of Thrones last week.
Peter Dinklage.
Mr.
We got
Dinklage.
Mr. Peter Dinklage, Tyrion Lannister himself.
There's a pretty big cast in this new movie. And
I'll tell you what, I drink and I know things.
Yeah.
Till next week when we're avenging the toxicity of something or other, we will see you in
7 days.
And until then,
Keep your eyes open.
and we're out.